Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Treknalysis. Fan theories. We all have them. I'm sure by now you all know about my Picard is Wesley's father theory, which I probably should make into a video someday. There are a lot of Trek fan theories out there, like the infamous transporter theory, but there's one that I've had for quite a while that not a lot of people seem to talk about. Life Support, a Season 3 episode of DS9, features the death, or both deaths, of one-time prospective Kai and Major Kira's hunky boyfriend Vedek Bareil from a shuttlecraft accident. Those things really are death traps. During the episode, extreme measures are taken to keep Bareil alive for peace talks with the Cardassians, measures that ultimately cause his death. One of the biggest proponents of these extreme measures was Kai Winn, a longtime political opponent of Bareil and overall conniver. Winn's behavior throughout the episode raised my eyebrows multiple times. So I began to wonder, did Kai Winn have Vedek Bareil killed? Is Bareil's death an accident, or was it something much more sinister? Was Bareil murdered? Join me. Perhaps maybe you can help solve a mystery.
Join me. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery.
We start the episode with Jake Sisko trying to get a date with a girl. An innocent conversation that sets up the episode's B-plot. But that's not what my video was about.
I'll see you then. Okay.
However, the ending of this innocent conversation segues into a damaged shuttlecraft docking with the station. And there are casualties. Well, everyone seems to be getting off the shuttle okay, but...
Take care of the Vedek.
And the medic gets out and says, "Oh my God."
Vedek Bareil, the only one who was not able to walk off the shuttle under his own steam. I mean, sure, it's possible that there were others injured. We don't see any, but it's possible. But it's all a little too convenient that one of the most important passengers just happened to get severely injured. Note that Winn was the one to tell Julian that Bareil was injured. In all the commotion, she noticed that Bareil was injured and didn't try to drag him out. She was even with other people. What was stopping her from saying, "Help me drag Bareil out of here, he's important"?
The Vedek. Take care of the Vedek.
With Bareil in the infirmary, and after a once-over from Miles, the hero of Setlik 3 O'Brien, the good chief concludes that it was an accident. Now, if you're thinking that that's the end of my theory, think again. Winn speaks up.
Was it sabotage?
I don't think so.
Why would you suspect sabotage?
Yeah, why would you suspect sabotage?
Kinda strange that no one was talking sabotage until Winn brought it up. What does she know? Well, when asked to explain, Winn takes Benjamin the emissary Sisko off to the side. Apparently, they were on their way to a secret meeting to discuss peace with the Cardassians. Bareil was an instrumental part of these peace talks, and Winn says that if he isn't a part of the talks, peace might not even be possible. But if it was a secret and nobody knew about it, why would she suggest sabotage? Now let's take a moment here to theorize. Winn and her deadly ambition have been known to arrange at least one attempt on Bareil's life in the past, specifically in the Season 1 episode In the Hands of the Prophets.
It was all to get him here, wasn't it? The school, the protests, the bombing. You did it all to kill him.
So she's not above rubbing out political opponents. Heck, Bareil would have been credited with bringing about the peace treaty. But let's think about this. Rather than have Bareil take all the credit, Winn has the shuttle sabotage, sets up how vital Bareil is to the peace talk, he dies from his accident, and from a seemingly hopeless situation, Winn pulls through miraculously and gets all the credit and the sweet glory.
Glory to you and your house.
Even if Bareil did most of the work, setting it up like a baseball on a t-ball stand, Winn would get the credit for the final home run and win the game. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I think we have a motive. Winn would seek to gain something from Bareil's death. Full credit for peace with Cardassia. Bareil does indeed succumb to his injuries, but lo and behold, he's alive again! And Winn is less than thrilled.
You've performed nothing less than a miracle here.
After she made such a big deal about how important Bareil is to these talks, she should be thrilled that he's alive, right? Right?
No way.
Now, is it possible that there really was an accident and Winn was just taking advantage of a situation to claim all the glory? Sure. But what transpires next is a bit more suspect.
We must resume the negotiations immediately.
Lady, the man just died. He needs his rest. What are you trying to do, kill him? Wait.
You did it all to kill him.
As it turns out, Bareil's organs aren't getting enough blood due to his being brought back from the dead. So Julian suggests putting Bareil in stasis, which Bareil rejects because Bajor needs him. Julian then suggests a drug called Vasikhan, which would fix the problem, but there's a significant chance it could cause organ damage. Bareil's like, sure.
I only hope we don't regret this.
So do I.
Meanwhile, Winn and Sisko meet with Legate Tyrell for the peace talks, and Winn is full-blown incompetent, saying to Sisko she needs Bareil.
I need Bareil.
Little hard to believe that this is the same woman who plotted and schemed,
Like a Ferengi.
to become Kai. This isn't a stupid woman. I don't buy her performance here. Winn also takes this moment to remind everyone if Bareil dies, peace with Cardassia dies with him.
If he dies, then peace with Cardassia dies with him. I need Bareil.
Now, you might be saying, but Winn wants to keep Bareil around. She doesn't want him to die. She even says, I need Bareil. But consider this. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Bareil was the one handling the initial talks and Winn wasn't involved in it at all, which is a bit of a stretch. Wouldn't he have briefed Winn on everything she needed to know before heading off to the secret meeting? Wouldn't he have, I don't know, notes somewhere that she could use? And again, Winn isn't an idiot. She didn't get to be where she is by being stupid. Even if her diplomacy skills are lacking, have Sisko help her out, or a mediator of some kind. Heck, Picard played diplomat during the Vengeance Factor on Next Gen, brokering peace between the Akamarians and the Gatherers. Why does Bareil need to be involved at this point? And yet...
I need Bareil.
Meanwhile, back at the infirmary, Bareil, who should be resting and not stressing out over these talks, gives Winn some advice. Bareil, of course, is in pain, so Winn says,
He's in pain. Give him more of the drug.
the drug that is clearly killing him. Julian, being the good doctor that he is, tells her to step.
Now, you can either leave here willingly, or I'll call security and have you thrown out.
You won't need to call them. I'll do it myself.
Julian then tells Bareil that the Vasikhan has severely damaged his organs and he should reconsider going into stasis, which, of course, Bareil refuses because he needs to finish the negotiations. Now, notice before that Winn really didn't care that Bareil was in pain. She points it out, sure, but rather than saying, I should leave him alone to rest, she insists he gets more of the drug. Now, Winn's a conniving woman. If she feigns incompetence, giving the impression that she needs Bareil, which causes him to take more of the drug that's killing him, she keeps up appearances that she needs help and takes Bareil out of the picture so she can get the credit in the end at the same time. The accident may not have killed him, at least permanently, but Winn's going to make sure she finishes the job, and it'll be all done by Bareil's own hand.
I'm afraid my mind's made up. Please. Whatever it takes. Just do it.
It's pretty clear that Winn has influence over Bareil, so Julian confronts her in what is perhaps one of my favorite Julian moments.
When you see Bareil, I want you to tell him that you don't need him.
But I do need Bareil.
But I want you to tell him that you don't.
You seem to be asking me to lie.
In an attempt to save Bareil's life and put him into stasis, Julian tries to convince Winn to tell Bareil that she doesn't need him for the negotiations. He even dangles her taking all the credit in front of her. She can complete the negotiations without Bareil and he'll live. Winn's not budging. After all, if Bareil lives, she'll still have a political opponent. Then Julian hits upon another angle.
If the talks fail, you'll need someone to accept the blame. You're a coward. You're afraid to stand alone.
Bareil's already made his decision, Doctor. I won't interfere.
Notice Winn doesn't deny it. Well, that confrontation with Julian didn't keep Winn away from the infirmary to finish her job.
Bareil called me himself. He said he had some ideas on the treaty.
Do we have proof of that conversation? I mean, all transmissions on the station must be recorded somewhere, right? I'm sorry, Winn, but I'm gonna have to see some proof. My child, you're not sorry. No, I'm not sorry.
Well, I hope you got all the advice you needed, Eminence. Because the Vasikhan has damaged his brain, and that damage is irreversible.
Well, thanks, Kai Winn. Now Bareil has brain damage.
You were able to replace some of his internal organs with artificial implants. Could you do something similar with the damaged parts of his brain?
Lady, you are relentless. Cisco says that they need to consider what Bareil would want.
Bareil wanted these negotiations to be completed, no matter what the cost.
Yeah, nobody asked you. Kira, being Bareil's girlfriend, agrees to go through with it. Now, yes, Kira wanted to keep Bareil alive as well, but it's clear that it's coming from a place of love. She doesn't want to lose him. She loves him. That's not the case with Winn. Bareil, of course, gets implants and, well, see for yourself.
How are you feeling?
Awake?
I have some questions for you.
Of course, Eminence. I will do all that I can.
The peace treaty gets signed, and the other part of Bareil's brain is failing. Kira, of course, wants to keep him alive. Again, he's her boyfriend, and she loves him. But look who suddenly decided enough's enough.
Perhaps, child, it is time to listen to Dr. Bashir.
Sure. You got your peace treaty. Your place in history. You don't need Bareil anymore.
And that's about it. The peace treaty is signed, Bareil is no longer needed, Winn gets all the credit, and she doesn't have a political opponent.
I will see to it that Bajor never forgets him.
Oh, really?
Is that why you never mention Bareil's name when you talk about your peace treaty with Cardassia? As I recall, he's the one who negotiated it.
He never wanted fame or glory for what he did.
You must think me a fool to make your lies so transparent.
So let's review. Did Winn have a motive for Bareil's death? Yes. She would have gotten rid of a political opponent and could have taken credit for peace with Cardassia while Bareil did all the work. Did she intend to cause Bareil harm? Plausible. The amount of shrewdness she's exhibited in the past isn't consistent with the amount of incompetence she displayed in this episode. She was also not oblivious to the harm the drug was doing to Bareil. It's entirely within the realm of possibilities she manipulated Bareil to take more of the drug because he was under the impression she needed him. Should Odo have called an investigation? I would argue yes. But that's just a theory. What do you think? Does my theory hold water? Are there gaps in my logic, or does it make a little too much sense? And do you think this was an intended interpretation of the episode? And what's your favorite Star Trek theory? Please leave a comment. I want to hear opinions. Again, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Treknalysis. If you haven't already, please leave a comment, like my video, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends. Until next time...
I won't forget what you've said here.
Neither will I.